What is up? Man, been in the studio since I don't know when. Hey, running away, cause I won't love you the way you want me, someone I mean. Loving away, cause I loving away, I want to loving away, da 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 da. I'm walking around on a tightrope. Maybe I need your body on me right now. Hey, lay that down. Ay, 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 ay. I don't wanna lie now. I don't wanna lie now. I don't wanna lie now. But you look good. And haven't left, but I'm done for the night, and I thought I would just talk to you and give you some tangible advice. But this is probably more leaning towards artists, but you can apply this to every craft that you have, I would say. So I'm gonna give you some like real tangible advice that you can start tonight after you watch this video and implement, and you'll see better results, right? So number one, find a person that you respect and learn from them. 90% of the YouTubers out here doing tutorials is bullshitting, and they are there to waste your time, and you can find this on your own, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've sat through so many hours of just wasted time trying to watch tutorials and like learn. I think at some point you got to go through that curve just to know what you're doing. And once you pass that curve, bro, you got to know when to stop watching that and just figure it out on your own. And because there's definitely a way you can just work around it and then you'll figure it out. But I would say tutorials are necessary for certain things. Find you one person that you really like their style, and like they're not corny, and like they get to the point. Like we don't have, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's number one. Find you a person that you respect and admire, and then look up to them and study from them and learn. And this goes not for just music, just for like anything, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, this could go into number two. Know your limit. Know your limit when it's time to stop working on things, right? I feel like as producers and artists and like songwriters, there's like a certain like, we just want to keep working on things. Like, we got to know when to stop, because at some point, like, we just stress ourselves out and then we wasted time on something that will never be anything, you know? And I understand, like, you got to work through kinks and you got to work things out. And if you really feel it in your gut that this is going to be something and you got to work it out, because that's a real thing as well. Like, then you work that out within yourself. But if you're just pounding and pounding and like nothing's coming, you're just forcing something out of nothing, know your limit. It takes you to know your limit and when to stop and move on to the next thing. And you know, if you don't want to exhaust your creative like flow on something that's not gonna work in the first place, you know, and it happens. It's an idea, you know. Everything starts as an idea, and you put it up, and it could work, it may not work, but know your limit. That's a big thing. And this goes into number three. Sometimes less is better, right? You can spend all the time in the world, you know, like adding all these different things and like writing these deep lyrics. Sometimes less is better, just simple. Like I think one of my favorite artists, John Bellion, he says something like the hardest thing to do is make something very simple. And that's true. And I think sometimes, like as humans, we like to complicate things because it's easier for whatever reason, you know, but sometimes just simple is better, to the point. Um, yeah, less is better in production, songwriting, communication. Sometimes less is better. It's just, you know, get to the point. Less is better. You can apply that now, you know. Number four. And this was probably like for artists. If you're starting or if you've been in for a minute, bro, you need to get you some good equipment no matter what stage you are. Like, get you some solid equipment. YouTubers, every YouTuber you come across will tell you that you can just use stock plugins. And bro, don't listen to them because there's a reason they're doing YouTube tutorials. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're using stock, and you can get away if you're just starting, you're on a tight budget. I get that, but at some point, level up. Get you some good equipment. Get you some like Waves plugins. Get you some nice sounds. Like invest in yourself, some good speakers and headphones, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get you some good equipment. And I know this is like to music too, but whatever craft you are, like invest in yourself. You know, like if you want to do it, you want to have the best things, you know, like you can work with whatever you have, because at the end of the day, you're gonna the your raw talent is going to dictate what you do with anything that you have. But the better equipment, you're already gonna have an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll never tell you that because I don't know why. It's just like I think it's more cliche to say like you can just use stock plugins or you don't need expensive things. Like, bro, like we don't need expensive things, but get you some good equipment at least, you know, like invest in yourself, invest in your art and your craft. Okay. And then number five, we'll end on this one. Number five is to stay balanced, right? I think just in any endeavor, any journey that we go through, there's going to be ups, downs, whatever. And my man Eddie Fuse said this, and he's one of the persons that I study from, and he talked about the law of polarity and how what comes up goes down. And I always like it resonated with me when he said that, because he said an analogy that said like there's streaky shooters get streaky for a reason. It's because they celebrate when they're hot, and then they get cold, and then they get hot again and then they celebrate, you know, and then they're cold again. And they're a streaky shooter, right? LeBron, he's really never goes through a slump. Like, he's solid all the time. Kobe's pretty solid all the time. The greats are solid all the time because they stay balanced. Their goal is to win the chip, not to score points in the game, right? Like, they score because that will ultimately lead them to the chip. I say this to say, stay balanced in your craft, right? Don't get too excited. I know when I'm making music, sometimes it's hard because I'm by myself all day and I just want to show somebody, and then it's funny because I get excited and then I show somebody and then they don't give me the reaction that I'm looking for, and that's not even what I should be doing music for, is for somebody else's reaction. It's a weird thing, right? But whatever. Yeah, you shouldn't be looking for other people's approval of, you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. I hope that really makes sense. Stay level, like work on your craft. You should be able to do things with the intentions of getting 1% better every day. And these are just some of the things that I follow and that are working for me. I hope any of these resonate with you. If they do, let me know. It's not the most, deep philosophical stuff, but I think these are things you can apply today, right now, to your craft when you go work on them. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of vlog this will be. It's just I felt like talking to y'all because it was on my mind earlier, but I was in the studio, so I didn't have time to do all this. But yeah, love y'all. Thanks for rocking out. I'll catch y'all on the next one.